and took the opportunity to truly lead us on this tour. All of the planning except choosing the music, everything else was done by this team. Would you thank that chaperone team for this year, please? All of you, stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up.
I want to take a quick opportunity while we're here. We have a brand new youth staff member whose first day here is today. Which is a pretty fantastic day for your first day. His name is Neil Wilkinson, and he arrived on Tuesday night from Coleraine, Northern Ireland, and is going to be here with us. And so I'm going to ask Neil to stand so that we can welcome him. The two words that Neil spoke to the youth when they were gathered this morning to greet them were, "Hey, y'all." So I thought that was really good. He's done some research. We're excited to have Neil here. He's going to be working with our 7th and 8th graders and will be part of the Center for Youth Ministry training just across the parking lot from Brentwood United Methodist Church. So we're glad to have him.
I'm Lindsay Brooks, one of the youth ministers here at BMC, and I went on Sonshine Tour, which is actually just one of 6 trips we had offered this summer for our youth. And we have a video testimonial that we're about to showing the 4 previous trips that have happened this summer. And then we had Sonshine, and we actually have another one coming up this week. But please watch and listen for all the many and diverse ways that our youth have been in missions and service this summer.
Haley Howd, and I'm going to be a senior at Brentwood High School.
And I'm Marshall Nathan, and I'll be a 10th grader at Brentwood High. Camp Barnabas is a camp for adults and kids with special needs who get to experience something more than they would at home.
They have anything from autism to Down syndrome to cerebral palsy to spina bifida, and some are in wheelchairs, some are able to walk on their own. I was a CIA, which meant I was a Christian in action, and basically I'm assigned one camper for the entire week, and you go to all their activities with them.
And I was a barnstormer, which is basically I was behind scenes cleaning up after everybody. Each day you were assigned a different activity, one of 3, which was either you were a server, which is you serve the CIAs and their campers, or you were on dishes, which is cleaning up after the campers. Or you're on bathrooms, which is cleaning all the bathrooms in the whole camp. I like serving because you got to really interact with not only the CIAs, but also the campers.
I learned that nothing is impossible with God. These campers are told every day of their lives that they can't do something, and here they have God with them every step of the way to help them.
Why I went to the camp was, like, of course, for the campers and stuff, but what I think God really told me through the camp was, if you want that glory, that high from it, then you're gonna have to get down and get dirty and work for it.
Well, I think being a Christian is help spreading the word of God, and there's no better way of doing that than helping serve others, and especially at this camp.
Like Christians, that you don't want to keep your faith to yourself. You want to go out and share what you have. One of the times I thought I really felt God's activity time. Me and the camper Jason, and Jason can't really speak very well. So he'd get on his computer and he'd play his favorite song and smile, and he'd spin around in the chair, and that was his form of dancing. And I felt closest to God was when he took his computer and he typed in, "This is so much fun. God is amazing."
My camper and I like to race, and of course they usually won. And then they thought it was funny when my toes would get run over by the wheelchair. So they liked that as their entertainment of the day.
I think that's great for them to really experience these things that other people experience just on our normal, and we take it for granted.
My name is Sarah Rains, and I'll be a senior next year at Brentwood High School. I'm Alyssa Stockard, and I'll be a junior at Brentwood High School.
We went on the South Texas mission trip, which was in Hidalgo County, Texas, which is one of the poorest counties in the United States.
On the mission trip, we built a house, and we put up drywall and sheetrock, and we primed and painted the outside of the house. Family really didn't speak much English, but two of the little girls did. And Maria actually had a heart defect. And so living in this house with all this dust was just like really making her sick.
For a few of the days that we were there, we worked with the kids at Vacation Bible School, and we would go around the neighborhood in the morning and gather the kids, and we would go around and talk to them and invite them to come to VBS. We did crafts, we played sports, and then we also sang songs and just played with the kids, and it was a really great experience. It was mostly the people who were truly the most affecting part of the trip. They all were just so joyful, even though they had almost nothing at home. They would come in the morning and they would be so excited to come and play, and they would be happy, and then have these big smiles on their faces that would just make your entire day. And I really got close to this one little girl, Alicia, and there were also two other boys, Otto and Axel, and they were so cute. And Alicia, I probably chased her around the church 100 times. Otto and Axel, I would go and play soccer with these two little boys who beat me so bad.
I guess I learned about God. When you're completely far away from your comfort zone, He's completely in your face and always there for you, so in a good way.
Well, on the trip, it was really amazing that everyone, while we were there, the entire time, we were truly working just for the glory of God and to show God to other people. And it's something that you don't really get to experience every day.
I guess one thing that was really kind of big like that was, like, I knew nobody. I really knew nobody. And I came out of this trip and I knew everyone. Just seeing kids act and without even thinking about it and just wanting to be there for everyone was just amazing.
My name is Mason Bergen. I'm going to be in 9th grade at Brentwood High School. I went on the Nashville mission trip. On the first day we went to an assisted living home in Franklin, and we got to exercise with the elderly. Got to do intense finger and arm exercises. And then we got to do their Christmas in July celebration. We got to make these stockings out of felt. I got to work with this very nice lady, Miss Peggy, and she had her stocking. We were just supposed to write their names on it with like glitter, and she got me to write her name, and then she was like, my stocking looks really boring, and I was like, I think it's okay. She was like, now how about you draw me like something down here? And I was like, okay, like what? And she was like a wreath, and I was like, okay. So her frail little hands couldn't draw the wreath, so I had to push the glitter out of the thing, and I drew a little wreath, and she was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, draw me a candy cane. I was like, okay. And so I did that too, and all the other ladies were like, oh, it's amazing, draw Santa Claus. And I was like, I don't think I can do Santa Claus. And so that was a good connection for me, because I felt like I was helping people and making their day a little brighter. We went to the church the second day, and there was a big pile of dirt that we had to move and spread out next to the church to block out water from going in, because they had just had flood damage. All the rest of the days we went to the old beaten up house, did a lot of yard work, and we painted it, and I was kind of in charge of doing the lawnmower. And then I got to climb the giant ladder and paint the high parts of the house. Missions are important because there are people like us who can help fill the needs of people, and then there are people with the needs. So I think we need to come together and work with each other and stuff. My faith grew because I was in the bathroom washing my hands one of the days, and Travis came in, like, oh hey Mason, how's it going? And I was like, oh hey Travis. And we started talking about how our weeks went and stuff. I was talking about how we were fixing the house that was beaten up, and he started going into how we couldn't fix like the entire world. We can fix the world for someone. So we may have not fixed the entire world. We fixed up one messed up part in fixing that house, and I think I saw God through Travis in the bathroom.
Alright, hey, I'm Dana Gary. I'm going to be a sophomore this year at BHS.
I'm Kate Cabin, and I'm going to be a sophomore at BHS as well.
This year on Jubilation Tour, we went to Cincinnati, Ohio. We started off our tour at a veterans home. None of the veterans came, so it was like all random people from the street. Or even though we had like none of the audience members we intended, we had a bunch of people there who actually still appreciated it anyways. from that point, I realized that this was going to be like a great week.
Yeah, that performance really just kind of set the tone. We kind of gave everyone hope. Hey, this isn't so bad. You know, we can really touch lives, and that was the first day. So, unlike some places for retirement homes, we got really good feedback from the people. You could tell that we really, brightened their day. We went to a juvenile detention center, and we weren't allowed to talk to the kids, but immediately when we started dancing, there was laughter coming from the crowd.
Homes for the Disabled, this year it was especially fun because a lot of them were really into it, and the way they get into it is really different than the way the kids at the juvenile detention center got into it. I remember we went up to this one kid after the performance, and he was in a wheelchair, and he had just turned 17, so he sang him happy birthday. And then I came up to him and I was like, I saw you dancing during the performance. I was like, do you want to dance with me? And so everyone who was standing around him starts going like this, and then he starts moving around and he starts like laughing, and he didn't stop laughing for like 10 minutes straight. And then it was just so fun to see how we totally made his day.
I feel like at worship at night is where we really, we all kind of come together and really open up.
It's not only that the older kids reached out to the younger kids, it's that the younger kids reached out to the older kids. And that really impacted me in like a huge way, and it made such a difference on the tour. Something I learned about myself on this choir tour was that I make much more of a difference than I think I do. If you have an open heart, God will just use you more than you'd ever dream, and it's really, really awesome.
If you don't leave Juby Tour with a changed heart, I mean, that just doesn't happen.
And the Love Feast is always amazing.
Oh, yeah.
The Love Feast is fantastic. While we're giving each other communion, we tell the other person what we love about them. You have people you barely even know coming up to you saying, this week I've seen you reach out to this person and it really touched me. It shows you how many indirect blessings have come your way, That's really the point where we all become a family, and that family just never goes away.
So we were going to give you a 7th inning stretch, but you just had it. So many gifts to share and so much music. This was one of those songs that we taught in audiences where we really felt like we wanted to get them involved. So we want to get you involved. We want you to sing this chorus. Kendall does a great job of leading the song and telling the story, but your job is just to sing their part with them. So it goes a little bit something like this. Would you guys teach them their part? 2, 3, 4. I love the way you hold me. Some of you up there know this. I love the way you hold me. Join us. I love the way you hold me. I love. All right, so if you can follow them on that, you got it. You guys sound like a church choir. That was pretty good. This is called Hold Me. This is Kendall over here, and this is a fun song, so have fun with it, all right? If you need another seventh inning stretch, just stand up during this one. This will be good.
I've had a long day, I just wanna relax. No time for my friends, no time to chit-chat. Problems at my job, wondering what to do. I know I should be working, but I'm thinking of you. And just when I feel this crazy world is gonna bring me down, that's when your smile comes around. Ooh, I love the way you hold me. By my side you'll always take each and every day. Make it special in some way. I love the way you hold me. In your arms will always take each and every day. Make it special in some way. I love you more than the words in my brain can express. Can't imagine even loving you less. Lord, I love the way you hold me. Oh, 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 oh. All of the time, and just when I think I'm about to figure you out, you make me wanna sing and shout. Ooh, I love the way you hold me. By my side you'll always be. Take each and every day, make it special in some way. I love the way you hold me. In your arms I'll always be. Take each and every day, make it special in some way. I love you more than the words in my brain can express. Can't imagine even loving you less. Lord, I love the way you hold me. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, I love the way you hold me. Oh, 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 oh. So grateful and thankful for all you've done. Wish I could tell you in a short story or poem. All I have is my voice and my guitar, and you have my heart. Ooh, I love the way you hold me. By my side you'll always be. Take each and every day, make it special in some way. I love the way you hold me. In your arms I'll always be. Take each and every day, every day and so. I love the way you hold me. By my side you'll always be. Take each and every day, make it special in some way. Hold me. In your arms I'll always be. Take each and every, oh so special. I love the way, I love, brain can't express. I can't imagine even loving you. Lord, I love the way you hold me. Whoa, oh, 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 whoa. I love the way you hold me.
Reflection 3, eh? All right. Yesterday we went to the Rakai Center. I was standing in the back row on the end, and as we sang, a man rolled up next to me in his wheelchair. When we sang Wings of the Dawn, and James said to grab someone's hand, I immediately went to him. During May the Peace, he pulled out a notepad, and using what looked like everything he had to offer, he wrote "Thank you" in all caps, underlined it, and put an exclamation point. He then showed it to me, pointed up to heaven, made a strong fist motion, and pointed to my heart. I really felt God in that moment, and I'm thankful God led me to him because he showed me that I too am dearly loved.
At the retirement center, I truly saw God's love. I made eye contact with a woman during the concert, and our songs filled her with tears. After we sang our last song, her grandson left for a minute, and she told us how scared she was. She didn't know where she was and was terribly alone. We held her hands and told her that she is never alone. God is always with her. This, of course, provoked a new set of tears. Each tear and squeeze of my hand showed me God's love and power. We tried to bless her, but she really blessed us. She loved me simply for holding her hand. In that moment, she embodied God's grace and love, and I will never forget this blessing.
I know James prayed that we would not be swayed by the acoustics of the sanctuary at St. Meinrad's, but I definitely felt the love and glory in that room. Last night was one of the strangest sensations I've ever experienced. By this point in time, I should be able to tell the difference between my total exhaustion and feeling his beautiful presence. Last night was so peaceful. It just made me trust and love everything around me. This peace was strong enough to let me lie asleep under the stars during outside worship. I remember praying so earnestly that I would never forget what has happened to me on this tour. It is a constant wonder to feel God's undying love. But what touched and inspired me was to see so many kids whom I'd never met before show such caring and love towards me. I felt all this love and profound spiritual joy while singing in that monastery, and I wish I could express just how beautiful it was.
We stayed at a monastery last night and it was absolutely gorgeous, but last night was super hard to deal with. I felt like I've stepped out of my comfort zone here, but I'm really afraid that without this group to be there and be so loving, I'll fall back into old habits and steer away from God. But all I can do now is pray and hope these people stay close.
The Center for Courageous Kids, a special needs camp, is truly the happiest place on earth.
Ephesians 5:1 says, "Follow in Christ's example. Therefore, as dearly loved children of God, walk in the way of love, as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us."
Down your arrows, for they're sure to pierce the skin, and water from a broken well will make you thirst again. When all things you've acquired are tested by the flame, you can see the melting, then will you call his name? Yeah. It's worth it, brothers. It's worth it, friends, to know your Maker, to lose your sin. Did you know that you are dearly loved? To the slaughters you are being led, being told that it's a party, that this God is in your head, and every single lie sounds just like the greatest truth. But the one truth you're not hearing is that he died for you, and it's worth it, brothers, and it's worth it, friends, lose your sin? Did you know that you are dearly loved? Oh yeah. No greater joy, no greater peace, no greater love than this. No greater joy, no greater peace, no greater love. It's worth it, brothers, it's worth it, friends, to know your Maker, to lose your sin. Did you know that you are dearly loved? It's worth it, brothers, it's worth it, friends,